Hey everyone, it is Monday, March 21st, and welcome to Odds Wizard, where we bet for fun by betting together. I hope you all had a wonderful week. The first weekend of March Madness, not a lot of sleep. Hopefully you guys hydrated well, you guys stayed up. I had a big issue last night because my wife went to TCU, and I have Arizona winning it all. So that game going to overtime was all kinds of mixed feelings. It was tough. It's like whenever your best friend's girlfriend's real hot, you just don't know what to do. That's where I was last night. So it was tough. My bracket's still great. I would have liked to have seen TCU get the upset because that would have been really fun to pull for in the next round. But either way, we had a great weekend of watching games. If you followed our show Saturday, our picks went 2 for 3, and the one that missed by a hair. It was our quickie pick, and it just barely missed. Would have made us go 3 for 3, but so Saturday was a great day. Yesterday we took the day off like we typically do on Sundays, but we're back for more fun today. We have not picked any NBA games in a while or NHL because of college basketball. We're going back to those wells tonight. So in the spirit of that, I'm going to start off with our first NBA pick. I'm going to take the 76ers and the Heat to go over 216.5 points. It's a game at 7 o'clock tonight. And all we have to do is hope that 0.5 point doesn't hose us again. We've had twice where we picked the over in something like this, and it hit like it's 216.5, and it would have hit 216. So I'm really hoping tonight that 0.5 doesn't hose us. But either way, this should be a fun game to watch. It should be pretty fast, pretty high scoring. Both of these teams are first in their conference. You're going to see that as a trend tonight in our picks. So they're both great teams. This should be a really good matchup. The Heat are coming off an easy stretch of games. So they have a 3-game win streak against pretty easy teams. Hopefully that means their stars are rested and not too tired and not too worn out from playing really hard, really intense games. The other reason I picked the over in this is we've seen a rash of high-scoring games across the NBA lately. A lot of guys putting up 50 and 60 points a night. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure if teams are resting their defenses a little more since most playoff spots are locked up, or what's going on, but we've seen scores just through the roof the last couple weeks. So I'm betting that will continue tonight. So yeah, that's our pick. We're going to take the 76ers and Heat over 216.5. And again, that game is at 7 o'clock tonight. In the vein of teams that are in first place playing each other, we're going to take the Jazz to upset the Nets, and that's at plus 100. That game is in New Jersey or New York, depending on how you count them. So it's a road game. We're picking the road dog on this. It's a 7:30 game on NBA TV. If you're wondering where that is, so do I. I watch a million sports, and I couldn't tell you where in the world NBA TV is. So like you guys, I'll be trying to find that tonight to watch this game. The Jazz are coming off a 3-game win streak. Again, they've also come off some pretty easy teams, so they should be more rested. Both these teams are number 1 in their conference. That's what we try and do here on Odds Wizard, is we try and pick the best games every night across sports, so you're not watching boring blowouts. March Madness luckily has us a little spoiled with a lot of really close games, and hopefully we can continue that trend here on Odds Wizard as we pick 3 more games for you guys tonight. Donovan Mitchell for the Jazz has been playing extremely well lately. He's one of the few guys to not put up 50 in the last couple weeks. I'm wondering if tonight's the night. Tonight could be that night where he's under the big lights in New York, comes out and shows out, which would be awesome because that would really help our Jazz pick for tonight. The Nets, on the other hand, they're winning, but it's in a weird way. They're like your old crabby grandpa. They're never happy. They're constantly mouthing off to fans. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder, which can be really good. I typically like that in a team. But when you're the best team in your conference, why are you playing with a chip on your shoulder? And they're just grouchy. That's part of the reason I want to pick the Jazz. They're a little more fun, a little more up-tempo, a little more upbeat. And I'm just tired of watching the Nets gripe and complain every stinking night. So we're going to take the Jazz to upset the Nets. I don't know if that's a head or heart pick, but either way, it's going to be fun to watch because these two teams are both awesome. Our last pick of the night. It's at 8 o'clock. It's on ESPN+. We're going back to hockey. We haven't picked a hockey game in a while. We're going to take the Vegas Knights and Minnesota to go over 6.5 goals, and that's at minus 110 odds. The Knights have scored 5 goals in both their last 2 games. Minnesota, on the other hand, has only scored an average of 3 goals over their last 3 games. So you add that up, that's 8. That should cover 6.5. I really think that this comes down to how the goalie plays for Vegas. Appropriately for Vegas, it's a roll of the dice to how their goalie plays. He either stands on his head or lets in 7. I mean, there's kind of no in between right now for Vegas. I know they're looking for another goalie at the trade deadline. So this could be a really interesting, really high-scoring game. It could be a 1-0 game. Who stinking knows? Hockey's so weird and so hard to predict. We're just looking for something fun, looking for a fun game tonight where we can see a lot of goals. And this could hit the over in the first period for all I know. That's definitely a possibility with the goaltending in Vegas and in Minnesota. Minnesota's biggest problem is they're a one-man show. They've got Kaprizov, who is phenomenal. He leads the team in goals. He leads the team in assists. He leads the team in pretty much every single category on offense. So if he's off tonight, if he isn't playing well, it's going to be tough for them to put up some goals. But either way, with Vegas' goalie situation, I thought this would be a fun pick tonight for our NHL pick, and that is Vegas and Minnesota over 6.5 goals. You'll also notice all these games are early. 7, 7:30, 8 o'clock. We should be done by 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. I am exhausted after this weekend. I've stayed up late every night watching games and started at noon. I'm trying to get you guys a little bit of rest as well. I know we're going to need to recoup a little bit before March Madness starts again this Thursday. We've got more games coming, so I'm going to try and do that this week and pick some earlier games so we can get to bed earlier and rest up for another fun weekend. If you take all 3 of our picks tonight and you put them in the cauldron, our odds are going to be plus 630. That's going to be tough, especially with the upset. That Jazz-Nets game should be a lot of fun. You never know what's going to happen. And our overs they're 50-50. We've hit about half of our overs so far. So keep an eye on those tonight. To recap our 3 picks, we've got the Jazz and the Heat over 216.5. The 76ers and the Heat over 216.5. The Jazz to upset the Nets. And then Vegas and Minnesota over 6.5 goals. Go ahead and follow along on Twitter. I'll try and keep updated on the games tonight. Even if you can't watch, I'll keep you updated on how they're going if you pick along with us. Get in on the fun. This is a community thing. Hopefully we can get in and out early tonight so we can get some rest and recoup for this weekend. All right, have fun tonight. Have a fun night, and good luck with your bets. See ya.